I hope there's audio. Waiting for video first. Alrighty. Does that work now? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just going to mute my phone here, try to get the chat up so I can see it. Hello, Fred, the MF Goat. Ah, nice. Moshi Mods. This is technically the first time I've actually changed a shell on a Joy-Con. Funny enough, I've torn them apart and brought them down to bare bones, but I've never actually put them into a new shell. So yeah, it might be a learning experience, but we'll find out. Now, in prepping for this, so the customer sent me all of this. It's actually an old friend of mine. Unfortunately, the buttons he sent are both for the left controller. So I just messaged him and I asked, like, do you want me to order new ones? Do you want me to just put the originals in for? So for the point of this live stream, I'm just going to put the original buttons back in. And if he wants new ones ordered, then I'll do so. Previous to this, though, I went through and I tested these Joy-Cons. All the buttons work, and there's no Joy-Con drift, so I don't have to do any repairs while we're in there. So great. I'm good, Fred. Thank you. How are you? Okay, cool beans. Let's get to it. So doing these are pretty simple. The only thing you really need, three things you need, is a tri-bit, a Phillips head. So I use a 2.3. I'm pretty sure you could use a 2. I don't think a 3 works very well. And then a 00 Phillips. Tweezers definitely help. And I can't remember the name of them, those little plastic pry tools. I don't use them for this per se, but they can be used. So 4 screws in the back, the tri-heads. Pop that out. I'm just going to move this stuff over here. There we go. I usually have like a forward-facing camera, so you can see like my face. However, Spurger, that's the one. I always like every time I think of the word Spurger and then or Splurger, and then I just screw it all up. So, but yeah, I usually have a face cam, but it's just too much of a hassle to set up, and my camera is unreliable. So I need to purchase a new one before I start doing that again. That's good to hear, Fred. Glad you're doing all right. So those 4 screws are out. Now, when you pry these apart, always pry away from the rail because there's ribbon cables in there. So you don't want to rip them off. Now, sometimes you have to kind of, come on now, pry from that area. Just be careful that you don't like open it too much, if you know what I mean. So it's definitely easier to start there, but then you don't want to actually pull away from that. Oh, I shouldn't have cut my nails prior to this. There we go. So we're going to clamshell that open. You can see those ribbon cables there. Just be cautious with those. Now we're going to want to remove this battery. Now the Spurger comes in handy here, one to open the shell and to do this. But I'm also just going to pull it straight out. Oops. Don't lose the springs though, because they're super easy to lose, 1, and 2, they take forever to come in. Hey, it's been a while, Brian. It has been. I haven't done a live stream in quite a long time. Just kind of been doing my own thing. Just repairs in general have been slow. Moving over to my Phillips head bits here. Question, can I send in my Game Boy to be modded? I'm still not accepting mail-ins at the moment, unfortunately. I have such a huge backlog. It's just unfair. Like, if you sent it to me, it would probably take over a year before you even got it back. Wait a second. I just, oh, there we go. I was going to say, I just put 2 springs in here, and one's already missing. So I'm actually going to put that right there. Now, left Joy-Cons, in my opinion, are more difficult than right Joy-Cons because you have to remove the battery from the shell or the back plastic here. So I'm just going to gently pull this out. There we go. Never pry up a lithium battery, or really just don't pry anything, because if you puncture a lithium battery, you have a real bad fire on your hands. And you can't put them at lithium fires, if I'm not mistaken. Will burn kind of like a white phosphorus where you could submerge them and bring them back up and they still have it. I could be deadly wrong in that, but they are difficult fires to control. Boop. There we go. So I'm missing one here. So the screws that hold these plastic pieces in here, there is 3 of them, are all gold, which makes it easier to put back together when you are. Just gonna move that over there. There we go. So remove the 3 gold screws. Just be careful they don't rip that ribbon cable in half. I really won't need this anymore. Personally, I like this color, so I'm kind of bummed that I'm doing this. But, you know, to each their own. This is where the tweezers kind of come in handy. They just kind of help by lifting up these little doors here for the ribbon cables. I'm going to leave this ribbon attached because it's moving with the board anyways. There we go. Gently pull that out. Going to remove this button. Now there's a spring on the end of the trigger. Super easy to lose, so just be cautious with that. Put there, put that there. And I may as well just undo these ribbons right here. And this will remove the back shell from the front shell. Come on now. There it goes. There we go. So far off to a good start. It could all go wrong at any moment, of course. I was going to put music on. However, last time I did music, my video got flagged. And I was kind of bummed. So until I could kind of find music that doesn't, or that appeases the YouTube gods, I'll just kind of avoid it for the time being. Oops. There we go. All right. I was going to try to avoid undoing this ribbon, but it's not that much extra work. Oh, it looks like that goes underneath this one. It's been quite a while since I've completely disassembled one of these. Orange and purple colors are? Ooh, I do have those. Actually, I have my set right here that I was just going to show those off. That I had Gamer AMA mod for me. I basically had these sitting on my shelf for literally 2 years with the hopes of having this done. It was like it's the, oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? The jungle green N64. So it's made to look like the controller, like the A and B button, the red plus button for start, and then the Y directional pads. And then, you know, this is your Z and your bumpers, and that you can't see that. She did them for me because when it comes to my own gear, I just don't work on things. I'm too busy with everybody else's. So I sent them to her. She did a phenomenal job on them. And then not 2 days after I got them back, I dropped my Switch and I broke the clips that hold them in. So I had to go in and replace them. It was great. I'm so professional. Yeah, the orange and purple were a Halloween one, if I'm not mistaken. Because I bought them originally for my wife. She's big into Halloween-y stuff. Here we go. Let's put that aside. I'm going to remove the analog stick. If you ever have Joy-Con drift, replacing the analog stick is probably the easiest thing you can do. I did a whole video on like different ways of fixing Joy-Con drift, but replacing the analog is definitely the easiest. I do have these available on my website if you'd like one, or if you need one rather. And unplug this here. And then you'll notice a trend with the screws as well. So screws holding plastic in are these gold ones. So the ones that were holding the Joy-Con analog, the analog stick in, and this plastic piece were all gold. Anything holding a motherboard in, or I shouldn't say motherboard, any kind of board, like these ribbons or the board itself, were these tiny little silver ones. So it's quite easy to kind of figure them out. That's my favorite video game movie adaptation. Oh God, hitting me with the hard questions. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say the newest Super Mario Brothers movie. I was quite happy with it. Prior to that, though, I'd probably have to say like Tomb Raider, like going way back. I shouldn't say way back, but like Angelina Jolie, She's my fave. But yeah, I was really happy with the Mario Brothers movie. I know some people, like, you know, kind of diehard fans, weren't too impressed, but you know, I find if you go in there, especially into a kids movie, expecting the world, you're just really planning on disappointing yourself. There we go. So I'm going to need this button here. Come here. Come here. Come. There we go. There's one. I'm going to need this one. There we go. And I can put these off to the side. What do you guys think of? What would be your favorite movie adaptation? And what did you think of the Super Mario movie? Also, Sonic was pretty good, in my opinion. I'm glad that they went back and made those changes after the internet bullied them into it. It was all for the best. Whenever I use or work with transparent or translucent shells, I really try to avoid touching the inside, because I've done it once or twice where I've rebuilt it and then I see a fingerprint and I have to like disassemble the whole thing, clean it. It was the worst thing ever. Especially with all the Easter eggs. Yeah, there's so much like little almost fan services kind of like snuck in there. My favorite one was the ringtone, Luigi's ringtone, which was the GameCube startup theme. The Double Dragon. There's a Double Dragon movie. Sonic was a good movie. Yeah. The second one, was the second one out? I'm trying to remember. It had Tails. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the second one's out. Yeah, that was pretty good too. I haven't seen Knuckles yet. Ooh, Assassin's Creed was good. I think the reason Assassin's Creed got such a bad rap, though, was because you really had to have prior knowledge of the Assassin's Creed world to actually understand it. If you didn't, then it was just kind of confusing. Like, I watched it with my wife, and she was just like, oh, yeah, that was interesting. I think she just didn't want to, like, sound too disappointed. But I was like, you know, like throughout the movie, she's like, what does this mean? What's that mean? And it was like, you really had to know the lore to understand it. But like, I thought it was good. But again, like, that being said, I haven't watched it since, so maybe it wasn't that good. But, you know, it could have been better, I guess. We'll put it that way. The newest, or sorry, in the first and then the newest Mortal Kombat were actually pretty awesome. I haven't seen the Mortal Kombat movies. Now, similar question. What is your favorite video game movie, but not like adaptation, just like a movie about video games or just in the video game world, I guess? I'd have to say for myself, Wizard is a classic, but also Pixels with Adam Sandler. I really enjoyed that one. Oh, and Ready Player One. Actually, yeah, I'm going to say Ready Player One. It's probably the top of my list. That was a really good one. Lots of Easter eggs in that one, too. I heard they might be doing Ready Player 2 because that is a book, sequeled from the first book. Are these all the same? Yeah, okay. There's no actual pattern to this. Shoot. Okay. Well, I better find out. This is obviously based off a Famicom controller. So I need to find out the color pattern of a Famicom. I know I have Famicom controllers right here somewhere. Give me 1 second. I really just need to go through my entire collection and shop here and just kind of reorganize. Okay, I'm gonna have to Google it instead. Give me 1 second, folks. Boop, 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 boo. Ready Player One was good. The Wizard, yes. Agree with all three. Jumanji wasn't all that bad. Although the newest Jumanji, that was pretty good. Still not a classic. Like, Robin Williams can't beat him. Just love that the Wizard was a commercial, a really interesting commercial. Yeah, basically, it's just a big ad placement for Nintendo. Okay, so Famicom, or Super Famicom rather. Super Famicom controller. So we have blue up top. Nope. Okay, that's all wrong. Let's pop those out. So we have blue up top, right there. Yellow on the bottom, right there, and I have to reverse these. Red on the right, which means it's going to be red on the left. So right here, get in there, and then green on the right. Perfect. Or sorry, green on the left. Yeah, okay. Wow. A Super Famicom controller is $193 on Amazon? Golly. Who's going to buy that? Okay. So, why do I feel like I'm missing something? But I'm not. It's on the board, right? Yeah, okay. So let's put down our, I think it's the screen capture button. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. It's been a while since I played my Switch. I've been playing a Steam Deck a lot lately. You're a huge movie fan. Nice. You'll never finish Madam Web. Really? I heard it was bad. My buddy and I, it's funny, we always laugh. The only time we ever see each other or hang out is when there's a movie out or a Marvel movie. We see like basically every superhero movie that comes out, we'll go and see together. And my wife laughs. She's like, going on a date with your buddy? I'm like, hell yeah, I am. But that is the only time we see each other. Just getting old, I guess. And that's the one movie we just didn't meet up to see. Although I wanted to see it because I heard it was like funny bad in some spots, like almost like The Room. If you guys are familiar with that one. But oh well, I'm sure I'll see it playing on TV with many commercials in between it. Robin Williams, yeah, what a legend. So sad. Okay, where? There it is. I feel like it's too early to put this in. I think the board goes on first. So we're going to flip this over. Place this on. There it goes. Beautiful. And then, like I said earlier, the silver tiny screws are for your PCBs. Yeah, I used to be a really big movie buff. Like I had a huge DVD collection. It became more of a time thing. Like I couldn't justify sitting down for like the 2 hours to watch a movie anymore, which is a real bummer. I was actually thinking of that today or yesterday. Like I walked by like the discount DVD bin, which is like what I used to frequent back before I had a job and money, and that's the only things I could afford. And I was like, man, those were good times. Just watching whatever, but oh well, is what it is. No, I don't recall where these screws went, because some of these screws are for the shell. So that's true. I just put in as wrong. Got that already. So it's right there and there. Okay. I got her now. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The rubber the rubber membrane for the buttons. These are the tactile buttons, though, so there is no membrane for them. I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, where's the membrane? And that's why I looked. Those tactile buttons, recently I had to take them apart to clean them. Really not that bad. I thought it was going to be way worse. The Joker movie with Chuck Queen, it was good. I'm looking forward to the next one, too, with Lady Gaga there. I'm curious how that's going to turn out with her. She seems like she's been in other movies and shows and all that, so I don't know much about her acting. But I'm looking forward to it. I think she'd be a good fit. Her personality kind of seems to have that that role under check, if you know what I mean. Saying that like I personally know the girl, but whoop. Okay. I feel like I'm going to put something like one of these down. And oh my God, you are right. It is there right in front of me. I'm such an idiot. An idiot. I would have figured it out when it didn't work. That's funny too, because I'm putting this on. It's like, huh, these ones have membranes, but these ones don't. Golly. That's hilarious. Oh well. I would have caught it in my test anyhow. Or I would have caught it when I looked over and the controller was back together and this was missing. Oop, there we go. Dude, it's like 100 degrees in my basement right now, which is weird because usually the basement's pretty cold. We're in the middle of a heat wave, though. I think most people are. There we go. I don't like removing things and like having to go back when it comes to these transparent shells because I always find that they're a little bit more fragile than a regular shell is. Plop this in here. Yeah, I'm gonna put those ribbons down first. Got 107 degrees today. God, that's gross. I work in Celsius. I just know that's a lot. For us, it's like hitting 38, which like 40 is like the big, like, you know, everybody stay home, don't leave. But 107, that sounds brutal. My sister dragged me to see Stars Born late again. I didn't care for it much. Tagline because she wanted to see it, but do want to go a little bit. You made her take to see Venom. Venom was a good one too. I didn't like the sequel as much, but it was still good. This really does not want to stay down. For like a part that took me a while to get up because it didn't want to come back, like it didn't want to detach. Come on. Get in there. What are you doing? There we go. Perfect. Boop. I feel like I'm missing, like already. Oh no, it's right in front of me. I moved it. That's why. I forgot you were a fellow Canadian. Heck yes, Nova Scotia, where it's supposed to be nice and cool because we have an ocean breeze, but no such luck. There we go. Stick this right here. I'd like to put a piece of double-sided adhesive in there because that's what it kind of uses, but because we're using a transparent shell, you'd see it and it would just look terrible. So I'm just going to kind of stick it in there and use the friction of the shell to kind of hold it all together. Put that back in before I forget. Now I'll throw in the analog stick. Come on now. I should have put the analog stick in first. I knew it. Oh well. Work around it. So because we're doing plastic on plastic here, we're going to use one of the gold screws. From Ontario, but I'm moving to New Brunswick. Nice. Whereabouts in Ontario are you from? I'm excited to see the Deadpool movie in Wolverine. Yes. Yes, that looks sick. I haven't been disappointed by a Deadpool movie yet. I think Ryan Reynolds was pretty great. Actually, I saw that movie, If, with Ryan Reynolds. I saw it with my wife. It's definitely a kid's movie, but it was actually like a really, really nice movie. A lot of parts where we laughed through it. You could tell that obviously it's made for kids, but some subtle innuendos made there a few times, and just like it's a sweet movie. So I recommend seeing it if you haven't already. At an hour east of Toronto. I'm originally from Windsor. Don't hold it against me. I moved out this way. Oh God, what year would that have been? Maybe 2009? I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen Wolverine. Yeah, I think the last thing he was in was Logan. And I don't remember what year that came out. So I don't know where they got this shell from. But it's not super nice. It's okay, but like I can already see some fitment issues here. Just worried that this button's not going to click once it's installed. We will have to find out, I guess. Came out in 2017, 7 years ago. Ugh, that was 7 years ago. You have family in Windsor. I hear that a lot, funny enough. Windsor's just kind of like that place. It's funny, there's a coworker of mine and then someone that works like in a similar field. And we're all from Windsor. Yeah, we made a little Windsor pack. Dirty old pack. So this ribbon goes underneath. Now, a thing that I'm not going to do on the live stream, but I will do afterwards is, well, try to do afterwards. I haven't done it before, so it might work, it might not work, is change the color that these register as on the switch itself. So when you slide one of these controllers in, obviously, you get the it blinks green for a second, but then you get like the little paired picture of the controller that's green. So I want to switch it over to black. Don't know how to do it yet. I've heard it's not hard, so I'm going to do it. Near Toronto, do you ever regret moving out to Nova Scotia? Yeah, I don't. Well, one, I moved out here when I was like in grade 7, so I was just pretty much a kid still, or I was a kid. And I really kind of wasn't going down the best path when I was in Windsor. I was kind of getting into trouble a whole bunch, so it was kind of like a fresh start when I moved out here. That being said, as for cost of living, it's super expensive in Nova Scotia. Super expensive. Our gas is one of the highest. Our tax is 15%. It's beautiful. Like, the only benefit we had, which brought a lot of folks out from Ontario and across Canada, was that our housing market was really nice. It was like lower than pretty much everywhere else in the country, minus I think PEI. That being said, once that was discovered, and like people in Ontario just started flocking out here from BC, because basically they could sell their property that they've had, like, you know, they inherited or they bought for like $200,000 back in the day, sell it for like $6 million, come out here, buy a house for $200,000. It doesn't matter, like doesn't matter what it looked like. They could just buy it, and they had all this money in the bank that they could renovate their house with. Like, literally, we were trying to buy a house at the same time that the market kind of exploded. And it was like, you know, it used to be like a house would be on the market for like 6 months to a year, maybe even more, without being touched. But now it was like hitting the market, sold the next day for like 100,000 more than asking price. And it was because these folks had millions of dollars that they had in their property. And it didn't matter what the house was like. They could just tear it down, rebuild it, and still have millions left in the bank. So our market blew up after that. Hello. Sorry, I kind of went on a rant there. Evie Queen, what's going on? Who do you think would win in a fight, Deadpool or Wolverine? Oh, that's a good question. They're both pretty much invincible. So, I think Deadpool, because I'm pretty sure Deadpool is like a little more invincible, if you know what I mean. If I'm not mistaken. I feel like I'm missing something here. I don't think so. Okay, cool. I'll find out if I am. Let me know in the comments so I can say that you're wrong again and prove myself that I'm a goof. Or prove to everybody that I'm a goof, rather. Do. Yeah, that's right. I know it can be done, and I have a link saved somewhere of the website you can do it. However, I think my biggest issue is going to be I don't know how to sync a Joy-Con to my PC. That's completely new for me, so. Go where? Oh, right in front of me. Blind. There's a tool for that. Where am I located? Nova Scotia, Canada. What's the tool? And is it like a physical connection, or is it like a Bluetooth connection? Or is it like software? Do. There we go. Hopefully I don't have to take anything apart because, again, these translucent shells, they crack really, really easy, especially if you start removing parts and putting them back in. It sucks because I've done it many times, mostly with Game Boys. When I built Gabriel Iglesias, his Game Boy, it was delayed so many times because I can't remember that problem I had with it where just the two power boards didn't like each other. I had it like disassembled a few times, and anyways, I cracked it like twice, or like just the screw terminal like twice. And I had to like order new parts, which took forever. Best province, hell yeah! It's like Bluetooth, but it's really easy. And it's just called Joy-Con Toolkit, the 5.20. Sweet, thanks, Evie. That's great. I'm definitely anytime I do anything new like that, I'm always got like a certain anxiety, I guess, around it. Oh, what are I? I don't know. I'm getting an ad on mine. I'll wait. I'm not going to say anything much until the ad passes. Although I don't know if anybody else is going to get ads. Here we go. You guys might have gotten an ad, and I'm sorry if that's the case. YouTube monetization. Got to pay the big man first, of course. I'm going to take this off and switch it over. So, oh, look at this one. This is plastic on plastic, but it was a little tiny screw. What am I looking for? This. The ad passed already for me. Sweet. Alrighty. Yeah, mine looked like, I didn't really watch it, but it looked like it was a Fortnite-esque kind of ad. Are these resin printed? I don't know, to be honest with you. These were sent to me by the customer himself. Oh no, and he's got these buttons in here still. That's gonna look terrible. Although you won't really see it, but this is what I have. So I'm gonna message him anyways because if you're just joining us, these are buttons for the left controller, which I've already put in here. So he accidentally ordered two of the same buttons. So, oh well. I'll order some new ones or ask him anyways. Yeah, of course. What's the question? I might not have a good answer, but, you know, I'll take it on. Oh, of course. Already popped it out. They added ads to live streams. Yeah, it used to be that you could turn them off. Like, it let me choose how often you folks see ads. So, like, I picked the most conservative, I think it is. It's like, oh, it's the least amount of income. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. But it used to be that you could just turn it right off. And then, like, what I'd do is I'd turn monetization on afterwards to try to make a few dollars if somebody would have watched it after. But during the live stream, I was like, no, like, I don't want that. But, oh well, it is what it is. Thank you all for watching that ad. I made a total profit of like half a cent. Straight to the bank. Ah, stupid big fingers. Do you have any button right? Do you have any brown right Joy-Con shells or anything? Anyone making them? No full Eevee version. Oh, that's cool. I don't know of anybody off the top of my head. However, Retro 6 does custom shells where you can like paint anything you want on them. Now, I think that's more Game Boys. I don't think he does Joy-Cons. But you could probably do that. PCB Way does some UV or not some UV resin stuff, or what's it called? Oh, I can't remember the name of it now. But like the process of like basically putting designs on things. So you can probably make a brown one there. But I will definitely take a look around. Shoot me a message or an email so I have your contact info, and I'll look around and ask around if I could find them, and I'll get back to you. I could buy myself some ice cream, barely, for 50 cents, not even 50 cents, half a cent. Ah, man. Well, I hope you find one. I guess worst case scenario, you could probably like get stickers, but bleh. Or those like protective coverings. It's like silicone ones, but again, like bleh. Or I guess you could go with another color that Eevee has, like, you know, primarily brown, but black might work because of Eevee's eyes. But there's got to be a spot that like does resin print or like. Do you have Instagram? I do. Video game restoration. There's got to be someone that like makes personalized ones or custom ones. Oh, that's backwards. No wonder it's not going in. Oh man, did I done goof it? I did done goof it. I got these screws in the wrong spots. I'm just gonna move them over to the next one. It's mainly brown and white for Eevee. Okay, so white might look good too. Brown console, white or Joy-Cons. However, I guess it wouldn't. That wouldn't really look very Eevee, I guess. Has anybody ever sent you anything other than video game stuff to fix, like laptops, tablets? Yes. They haven't sent me them, but I have like friends locally. Like the other day, I fixed a AirBook, like an Apple AirBook, which sucked. Very like, luckily I had the tools to open it, but I didn't realize they took like specialty tools in different sizes, which were like super tiny, and everything was just small. Like, hats off to Apple for fitting that much technology in there. But I worked on a laptop the other day, a gaming laptop or PC. No, it was a gaming laptop. What was so the iMac or the Apple, whatever it was, wasn't charging, and in the end they had spilt coffee inside of it, and I just had to take out the charging port and clean it, so that wasn't bad. And then the gaming laptop, he broke off a USB inside the USB port, and there was no removing it. To remove it, like even just to get the shell off, I had to remove it, and to remove it, I ended up ripping the whole port out. So I went in and soldered in a new port. Yeah, that was it. There's a few other little things. I've worked on a bear camera, or sorry, a deer camera that was destroyed by a bear. What else? I did a breast pump. A few other. I did a sound bar once. Although the sound bar, I literally just did a hard reset on it and it worked. So just followed you. Thanks, dude. Or dudette. Thanks, you. But yeah, I've worked on like, you know, toys. Like I've got my nephew's. It's not within arm's reach. He has a little bullseye horse from Toy Story, and it no longer makes sound. So I have that. It needs a new sound. I don't even know what they're called, a little soundboard thing. So I'm just waiting on my sister to get back to me with what sound effects she wants me to put onto it, because I can upload anything. But he's particular, so if I upload the wrong sounds, I know it'll be a meltdown. So I want to make sure I get the right. She's like, oh, it's just like, you know, a horse neighing and like the clip clapping or the clomping, whatever it is, or the galloping. And I was like, yeah, but there's like 1,000 different versions of that online. Like I could throw Epona's galloping in there if I wanted to. But if it's not the same one that he's used to, it's like, you'll know it. And then it'd be disappointing where like he's waited all this time to get it back. He finally gets it back. It's not what he wanted. So anyways, I'm trying to avoid that. Okay, so I just need to put back these 3 gold screws. I'm a girl. Whoa. Well, thank you, Dudette. I originally thought that with the name being Eevee, but then you said you're making like an Eevee controller with your name there, and I was like, okay, Eevee the Pokemon, I get you. And oh yeah, sorry, my Galaxy Watch. Yeah, it is. I don't know which one it is, to be honest with you. My wife bought it for me for my birthday. Super nice though. Actually, it's covered in slime. I'm a fan. honestly, I like the reason I wanted a smartwatch. I always thought they were silly, but the reason I wanted one is because I was like really upset with like my image and just like my overall health. So I wanted to get better, and basically I wanted something that I could use to track my fitness. And this is basically what helped me. I ended up like losing over the last year, so I lost 30 pounds. And like I really credit my watch to that because I was able to track all my progress. Like it does body scans, so if I could measure. Now I know it's not always accurate, but you kind of like you put in your weight, then you measure your body, and it tells you like what your fat percentage is, your muscle mass, etc., etc. Anyways, it was good just to kind of have something to track, like, oh, I actually am making progress, and this stops you from getting discouraged. Anyways, yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, you put Queen in it. Such an idiot. Oh my god. I'm out to lunch today, folks. Alrighty, back to the controller. One controller is almost done. Boop. And then stick that in there. Close this. Oh, those fingerprints on the outside or the inside? They're on the outside. All right, we're good. You're good, I swear. Alrighty, so yeah, those kind of throw it off. So I'll send pictures to my buddy there and be like, hey, do you want me to switch those? It's too bad I don't have... Oh, those are my old ones. All right, never mind. I was actually thought, like, so I thought I might even have these buttons, like, spare, but I didn't. I looked before the live stream. I was kind of bummed out. Oh, well. Anyways, back to the build here. Swap my Phillips out for a tri-head. Boop. And then we throw these back in. And this controller, we're going to... Okay, it's not powering on. Hold on now. Give me a second before I rebuild this. I got to go get my Switch. Yep. So for those of you that don't know, we were talking about at the beginning of the stream. These are the Halloween ones, the purple and the orange. These are nice. I actually have the Gilly Kit or Gully Kit in these ones, the Hall Effects analogs. So you never get stick drift again. Uh-oh. Didn't turn on when I did that. Oh no, there it is. All right. Yeah, so you can see there how it has the green controller. I want to change that to the black controller afterwards. All right, I'm going to put this somewhere where I won't break it, which is pretty hard to do on my table because I've dropped many things off it. Cool. As long as that turns on, we're golden. Let's put it back together. They're not cheap. No, you're right. I didn't actually. I didn't realize how expensive they were. And hold on a second. Sorry, this ribbon cable is coming over the battery, and I just don't like the look of it. And my wife bought it, and she swore. Oh no, that's supposed to do that because there's a little cutout. Okay, never mind. She swore it wasn't expensive. She's like, no, it was only like $100, and I was like, I don't know. Anyways, I looked it up, like the price, and it was outrageous. But she ended up doing like a plan or something like that, so she paid $100 up front. And then she put the rest on, like, it's like $10 a month or something like that. But she has another plan with the same company, so she ended up saving money on her total bill or something like that. Anyways, I don't know. Was she lying to me? I may never know. Do. Okay. I don't know if these screws just aren't magnetic or if this became demagnetized. It shouldn't have been, but we'll find out. Got a little magnetizer right here, which like I've honestly, I bought this kit probably years ago, 2 years ago rather, and I never used the magnetizer once. And within the last couple of weeks, I found that I've used it like 3 or 4 times. And I think it's just the screws. And they're metal, so it should stick. It's so weird. Oh well. It would make things a little easier. Good more, yeah. Get some poor guy to get ready to chase her out of the room when she runs out crying, you know what I mean? Camera guy. So this is one controller down anyhow. Well, down for now. I might be revisiting it to change out these buttons. But yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Even with those yellow, it doesn't look too bad. But come to think of it, I've never actually really seen replacements for those, but we'll find out. Yeah, that actually turns out, I like that smoky color to it. Other than like the slight fitment issues, these shells are pretty nice. I don't know where they came from. I've always bought shells from ExtremeRate. One, because like they're known to have good affordable shells, and two, because I'm affiliated with them. So if you want to buy any shells and save 10%, use code VGR. There you go. This isn't sponsored by them in any way at all. It's not. It's but you know, it does help me in the long run. All the money I make from YouTube and like my affiliate stuff goes right back into my business, except for the one time I needed a car seat and I was broke, and I was like, well, safety first, so I bought a car seat with it. But everything else goes back into it, like getting tools and whatnot, and doing free repairs. That's my biggest thing right now. I've been able to do, every repair this month I think has been free. Even that includes like return shipping and stuff like that if I had to send it back. So some folks that, you know, unfortunately got stuck on my super long wait list, or just like waiting for their systems to come back, got a free repair because of the wait. So here we go. That's one down. Now, actually, before I move along too far, let's I'm hitting over here because that's where the Steam Decks is. Okay, I'm playing a lot of Metal Gear Solid lately, or before I put this away. We're going to go to controllers and sensors, test input devices, test controller buttons, doop, 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 doop. Oh no, oh there it is, doop, doop. But it's not working that well. Well, what the heck's going on here? Is that a shell thing or is that a placement thing? I've got to reopen it now. I keep doing that. And then the minus button, which I was worried about, works fine. And then I can take the screenshot. Okay, something wrong with that bumper. So I've got to go back and redo it. Darn it. I should have tested that before I put this all back together. It's going to be nice and gentle taking these screws out, that's all. Oh man, the worst part is I have to like take a bunch of things off too to get to that trigger. Wouldn't happen to know anyone who can do mods on a Game Boy because all the ones I found aren't based in the USA. Oh, really? Crossfacegaming.com. Crossface, great guy. I don't know if he's on YouTube, but he's on TikTok. He's one of the co-creators of the of our Discord. He does mail-ins and does mods. Now, I don't know what his list is like. I haven't talked to him like more so about his business in a while. But yeah, he does Game Boy mods. Who else? Gamer AMA, I don't think is accepting mail-ins anymore, unfortunately. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. I don't think this was a placement thing. I think it's just a shell thing, because that worked just fine there. Okay, Crossface Gaming, yeah, it's the one. The Game Dungeons does GameCube, or is that GameCube? I know there's more. You know what? If you send me an email, videogamerestoration@gmail, I'll send you a list of everybody I know that does them or has done them. Because there's way more than just Crossface. I know that. There's I think Jake Simmons doesn't do individual orders. He does ones for his shop. Who's another one? I was just watching the videos the other day. Ah, man. Who was it? Anyways, I know there's more. Yeah, shoot me an email and I'll get you some names there. Plenty of people in the States. Test input devices, test controller buttons. Yeah, that's what it is. Aha. That's a GameCube. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, it's like GC GameCube. But we're talking about Game Boys. Speaking of GameCubes, shameless plug on my own channel. Where is it? This isn't it, but my GameCube Switch is out. The V1.2 is out on my website, but V2 is coming out, which has a built-in bypass switch in case the Switch ever fails, and no longer requires shell trimming. That should be up hopefully this week. Do they do custom shells? Yes, no. So there's not many places I know of that do modding and make their own custom shells. They usually, like, if I were to do it, I would find out the shell that you wanted and then have that shell made and ordered. Like Retro 6 does custom shells, so I'd probably go through them. So if you wanted to, you can have the shell made and then send it with your Game Boy to have that modded. Hey, thanks, Justin. Appreciate that, dude. I'm glad you like them. I've kind of been slacking on videos lately. I feel really bad. It's been pretty hectic. I plan on getting some more out there. I feel like, as much as people hate sponsored videos, if it wasn't for my sponsorship, I probably wouldn't be putting out many videos right now. But I have a contract with them saying, like, I at least got to do one video a month. So you guys at least get one video a month. But I'm slowly, once I get through my backlog, which has been a very, very slow process, I think I'll be able to start making more videos and whatnot. Where's Retro 6? He's on TikTok. He's here on YouTube. It's on Instagram. There's a Discord. And he's got his website. Oh my goodness, what is the website? retro6.co.uk, I think. Honestly, if you Google Retro 6, it'll come up. And I think, I don't know if they ever set up the discount code with me on that, but if VGR is my discount code for Retro 6, it could save you 10%. I think last time I tried to use it, it worked, but it didn't actually take it off. So if that happens, just email them and be like, hey, I used this discount code. It didn't actually take the money off, and they'll fix it. They're good to deal with. I've never had a problem with anybody there. So okay, so I think I fixed it already, and this is just the stupidest fix ever. And it occasionally happens with some shells, like aftermarket shells, which is just if you tighten the screw too much, it basically pinches the plastic and the controllers don't move as well. Yeah, there it is. That's all it was. I just didn't tighten it as much on the back there. I should have done that first before I disassembled the whole thing. You got Nike shoes? Oh, Retro 6, spell out 6. S-I-X, rather. I don't know if it's one word or two word, but it should come up. Even if you did like Retro 6 Game Boy, that'll come up. And if you email me again there too, I can send you a direct link to the shell manufacturing. You can do like glass too. So like if you had a design for your Game Boy, and the design bleeds into the screen, you can get a design to go onto the glass of the screen. So it's like all one design. It looks really sharp. Okay, there we go. One is done. Looks pretty nice. So I'm gonna get rid of these. If I get rid of them, just they're over there. These came with new screws too, but like I prefer the original hardware if I can. Okay, on to number 2. So constantly losing things. So I will try these buttons. I don't think they're going to work though, because they all have that imprint in them of where they should go. But I'll take a look. Okay, that's my controller. This is the one. Whoop. So again, tri-head screwdriver, bits, I guess. This is a 2.3. I personally find that's the best for Joy-Cons, but 2s work. I think 3s technically work. I personally don't like them. I find they're a little bit too big, but and I'm afraid with a 2 that I'd strip the screws. So I find the ones like I like ExtremeRate shells, but I don't like the tools that they send with them to do their shells. I find those strip things pretty easy. Oh no, darn it. I didn't mean to pull it that hard. I just meant to kind of pry it up. The ribbons are okay though. Whew. Whew. Just like that meme, buddy sweating, wiping down his head. There we go. There's that spring. Again, being careful that you don't rip these springs out. Bloop. Now we don't need the tri-head anymore, so I'll switch it out for the Phillips. This is a 00 Phillips. Okay, so I want to unplug this battery real quick. There we go. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, one of the reasons why this Joy-Con's easier than the left is because you can just remove this whole housing. You don't have to remove the battery at all. Boop. Boop. There we go. Now, when you're pulling this one up, just be careful that you don't catch the ribbon here. There we go. What am I caught on? Oh, I forgot the antenna. That's right. The antenna's in this one. There we go. Oh, I have to remove the battery anyways because I'm reshelling the bloody thing. Ah, my goof. I clicked on your link in the email and it's making me download the mail app. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, if you just do video game restoration at Gmail through like any email, that'll work. Or I think Richard at videogamerestoration.com is another one that you could use. Either one, it gets back to me. Okay, again, removing that bumper, but be careful because that spring is easily lost. So leave that attached. I'm going to undo these ribbons here just to get them out of the way. One. This one's on the other side. It's always a weird one. 2. Just replacing a shell, yeah. It's actually an old friend of mine sent me his Joy-Cons with the new shells. He said he bought them with the, I believe he bought them with the goal of undertaking it, and they just was a little nervous, didn't want to break anything. So he ended up finding me on YouTube or seeing me on YouTube. He's like, well, I'll just send them to Richard. So it's funny. I get like random emails or messages sporadically of people like, so scrolling through YouTube the other day and heard a familiar voice and looked and it was you. Like people I haven't talked to in years. It's great because I've been reconnecting with a lot of people I haven't seen in many, many, many years. It's kind of makes you think like, or makes you realize how far of a reach you can get with YouTube kind of thing, or just an online presence in general. Like, you know, it's one thing to make and post silly videos, but when you have people like messaging you that like live across the country or like in other countries, you're like, wow, it's like that really gets out there. This plug doesn't want to come out, and I don't want to keep pulling on it. So I'm afraid I'll break it. Oh, there it goes. Whew. It made me nervous. Okay, I'm gonna wait until the board's out to get that one. That one's being finicky. Maybe it was the right Joy-Con that's harder because there's more ribbons involved. Anyhow, they both suck. Fixing Joy-Cons, other than like controller drift or analog drift, is miserable. They're so small. Like a common break is that this button here gets pushed off the board, most likely because the controller's dropped. And resoldering that on is tedious. Yes. Yeah, I'll take a look once I'm done the stream, my friend. I'll get those links for you and anything else you need. Boop. So again, if you're just kind of joining in, we're just reshelling. What did I drop on the button? We're just reshelling a Joy-Con or both Joy-Cons. I tested them before I disassembled them, and there's no issues with them. All the buttons work. There's no analog drift, so we're all good. So it's just a quick and simple, take things out from one, put them in the next, all done. Sorry, I forgot that I'm trying to also show this on camera here. Yeah, the right one's definitely harder now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to be very gentle with these ribbon cables. Don't need to tear anything. That would be the worst. And this one, very, very gently. I'm prying it up as I go. This is where a splurger would probably come in handy more, but yeah, I did it without it. It's fine. Nothing broke that I know of. We'll find out. Okay. Yeah, the buttons that he sent will not work. These are directional buttons, just like these ones. He accidentally bought two of the same, so I'll email him, find out if he... Oh, actually, I already messaged him. So I might put these in and find out later that I have to take them all back out. We'll find out. I'll send him pictures of everything when it's done, though. I think this one goes here. Nope, it does not. Where the heck does this one go? Oh, on the bottom. Oh. Doesn't look like it fit the bottom. Yeah, what the heck? Oh, unless I have the button backwards. I do. Done goofed. Again. This is Y, so it's going to go over here. This is X. So it's going to go on top, obviously. Just got to find out which direction it goes in. Nope, that's not it. Looks like it's actually this. There we go. And there we go. How can you remember where everything goes? Good question. I just kind of do. And it's also like, you know, you're putting it in, it's like that fits here, this fits here, this must go here, you know what I mean? Like, kind of trial and error from doing it before as well. Like the worst is when you take something apart and like you need to order parts or it's hard to repair and you end up stuck on it for weeks or you put it aside. And then when you're finally done it, like months to weeks or weeks to months later, you're looking at it, you're like, how does this go back together? And like the parts are just spewed everywhere. That's brutal. The first time I worked on a PlayStation 2, that's what I did. Found it the hard way. Like I can't remember what it was. I think I was working on it and I had to put it down for a few days. And then I came back to it and like, oh, uh-oh. How does this work? I think I eventually got it back together. Correctly, at least. Well, I know I got it back together, but I think it was correct. I don't know. Uh-oh, that's right in front of me. Man, I am blind. Don't even need the Joy-Con yet, or the analog stick. Pop that there, pop this here. So if I gotta send them to different places, I don't mind. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your first message there. Yeah, I just want someone to add a new screen, add USB-C, and new speakers, and I wanted a custom shell like a picture. That's not what I wanted. So. Yeah, most people could do all of those, dude. What kind of Game Boy is it? I don't think there's very few people I think that would like. There's some people that avoid rechargeable batteries mods because they have been known to overheat and they can be dangerous. However, there is safer ones on the market now. But yeah, most people can do all those. What's the worst system to work on? 3DSs, by far. They are miserable. More so anything to do with the top screen. If it's just like a bottom screen or like a charging problem, not that bad. The second you have to start messing with the top screen, it's like game over. It's the worst. There we go. Let's plant that down with a couple screws really quick. Game Boy Color. Oh, dude, those are easy. Yeah, you won't have any problems finding anybody doing that for you. Doop, 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 doop. Oh man, is that is one of those ones? Gosh darn it. This is the one I wanted. Whoop, there we go. So that's on there. Now these ribbon cables right here are a pain in the ass. I really probably should have done them before I put the board in. Let's see if I can get them here though. Now I'm gonna have to take the board out and redo it. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to pull this whole one out and do it like this. Be 100 times easier. There we go. That one's in. And this one, it's a little bit longer. Oh, it actually just kind of fed in by itself there. That was nice. There we go. Perfect. Nice. Gotta love it when it just works, you know. Okay, let's put those screws in then. Our backlit screens is complicated to install in a Game Boy Color. Yes, no. Which isn't a real good answer. So it depends on the screen. You can get screens that don't require any soldering or trimming, and they literally just drop in. So you basically like You just remove the old screen, you put in the new screen, and that's it. That's super simple. Like the TFT screens. I think they have newer ones now, but when I haven't really done Game Boy modding in a little bit, just because I got stuck with this backlog, so I just haven't accepted anything. But the TFTs were a little bit smaller, so you had to replace the lens as well to make it a little smaller. But literally, you unplugged the old screen, plugged in the new screen. That was it. Super simple. Newer screens that have like soldering for all the button controls, so like you can adjust all the settings. And then, especially if you're using an original shell with like a Q5 screen or something like that was bigger, you had to do a lot of shell trimming, and then you had to do that soldering. So it's definitely not difficult per se. It is definitely an art. Like there's a lot of people out there that are really good at it. Much better, but much better than me for sure. But yeah, so if you haven't done it before, or you haven't done a lot with soldering, I'd kind of shy away from doing like the soldering ones. Yeah, didn't know where to look. So look up Game Boy mods on TikTok. The ones I didn't find. Gmail and Dixie. Oh yeah, a lot of them are just like they have them pre-made. I've only ever sold. I think technically I've only ever sold 4 Game Boys, and that was all to the same person. I've always had people send me their Game Boys. I'm like, what do you want to do? And then they pick it. This person didn't have a Game Boy, and like, would you buy me the Game Boy? And then like, I want these mods, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So I did that, and then afterwards they came back like, hey, I want 3 more. It's like, but they were like, do whatever you want to them. I just want them with the same mods. So I did that. So yeah. But yeah, I can see why people like, it is kind of boring after a while building Game Boys, at least when I was doing it, because it was like the same mods over and over and over. And then I didn't really have any creative control, which is like, it's not my system. That's okay. But it did make it boring. Like, it is fun to build them and make them your own way. But when you have people that are just like, no, I want this, and this. I did it for the reactions like that they would have, like, because usually they're like super stoked. We get them back. And I'm always happy to like make people happy, but it did kind of wear out a little while, or after a little while. So making those 3 Game Boys for that guy was great. I was like, but I was also nervous the entire time because like, what if he doesn't like them? So it's kind of like I almost prefer in some ways when you pick what you want, because then like, if you don't like it, it's your own gosh darn fault. But if I mod it and you don't like it, then it's my design choice. And I'm like, well, I botched that one, so. This one's moving along pretty good. Better than the first one. Anybody excited for any new games coming out? Looking forward to the new Zelda. Like any Zelda release, I'm stoked for. But also the new Assassin's Creed. Apparently they're saying it's kind of like Splinter Cell-esque, with the one protagonist there. Like one's a brute, obviously, then one's stealth, kind of like Jacob and Evie from Syndicate. So I'm looking more forward to like the stealth stuff. But yeah, any games out there that I don't know about or that anybody else is excited about? I haven't worked on a Raspberry Pi. That's definitely on my list of things I'd like to work on. You know what I should have done on the last one? Was put some adhesive in there. I've been looking at making like an arcade system that uses a Raspberry Pi, so it's kind of like play whatever games you want on an arcade, you know what I mean? But that's like any project that I want to do for myself is like way, way, way on the back burner. There we go. That's just some double-sided adhesive. Oh God, which way did the battery go? I should have paid attention. Pretty sure it went this way. Or did it? Yeah, it did. There we go. That secures that. Let's plug these in. And then I think I just need to do the antenna and the battery and put it back together. All done. And then, of course, I got to test it, but oops. The original DS Lite. I just bought it for the X. Oh, I think that just might be a ribbon problem. I've encountered that once before, like the screen being red. You might just have to adjust the ribbon, which, you know, in a DS, easier said than done. But it's doable. There we go. I'm just gonna, I think I put my finger in there, so I just want to wipe that down real quick. Don't need any prints in there. Have I ever fixed a brick system? No, unfortunately. Once they're bricked, I'm pretty sure they're like just a paperweight. I could be very wrong, but I've never worked on one that's been bricked. Okay. So, oh, I got to put that button back on, or the trigger back on. Do. There we go. Let's slip this through here. There we go. And put these screws back on. There we go. And then we're like pretty close to being done. Alrighty. Sorry, I kind of got quiet. I'm just kind of like in the zone. I need to put this button back on. Go. A little tiny screw. The screen went red and never fixed it. Yeah, it could just be like, it could be a broken screen, unfortunately. But it could just be that the ribbon got a little knocked there. There we go. Put on our, oops, just move the camera. It's going to take me a few minutes to even see that come up because I'm a little delayed on my side. There we go. Pop the springs back in. There we go. A couple test clicks, that's good. Now putting the antenna on, which sometimes I get lucky with. Other times I just end up getting mad at and being stuck on it for like 5 minutes. Oh, wait. Oh, nice. Lucky it is. And then we're going to get our battery. I saved the battery for last just to ensure that the controller doesn't have any power while we're working on it. There we go. Click it in. Yeah, I'll just give that a little wipe down again just in case. When you see the tools, you're in the zone. Exactly. What's my favorite Zelda game? Ocarina of Time, hands down. So it goes Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and then Twilight Princess. That being said, with the new ones, it's hard to like rank the new ones with the old ones because they're completely different, like completely different game styles and gameplay. I do like the new ones though. Tears of the Kingdom was sick. That was a great game. And same with Breath of the Wild. Is it funny enough? Like this thing is the second thing where I was thinking of it today because I was looking at something Zelda related. But there's part of me that like enjoyed Breath of the Wild more just because it was so new and different. And then when you did Tears of the Kingdom, it was kind of like the same thing again, just like new, like some new mechanics, but for the most part, it was the same. But Tears of the Kingdom was probably a little better. Just I just didn't get to experience it like I would originally want to, I guess. But that's just me being picky. Let's give him a for real. I feel like recently gave him a few minutes on the games. Oh man, that's sick. I'm sure he loved that. The shell's not fitting super nice, and it's in the same spot that I was having shell fitment issues on the other side there too. So I don't know what shell this is. I didn't purchase it. It was just sent. So I'm just going to put this last screw, or I shouldn't say last screw. I'm just going to put one more screw in here, and then I'm going to test it before I completely reassemble it. I didn't add the Hall Effect sticks, no. I have those and these controllers here. But again, this is just like my friend sent me his Joy-Cons. He's like, can you put these controllers in these shells? I was like, yeah, not a problem. I didn't want anything else done. However, I might revisit these to change some of these buttons around. Although the black and white actually looks pretty nice. Won't lie. Uh-oh. Why are we not getting any button input? What's going on there? Bizarre. Okay, it works, but like barely. Oh, why does that happen? Oh no, that's not happening. Never mind. Okay. I thought I forgot the thing again. Yeah, weird. I'm not getting button input. But now I'm getting button input. Oh, I know what it is. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Anyways, let's test these buttons here first. Make sure they all work. That one's not working either. Oops. Okay, so I got to revisit them. The shell fitment's just not letting it properly connect, because that's where I was having the shell issues, was the around the oh my god, the slider there. Dang it. I was hoping it just worked. I'd be done. A lot of the games, because I've seen the movies, these buttons are different. Yeah, the buttons are completely different. Okay, so now we have to find out why one of these buttons isn't working. Could very well just be I forgot to plug a ribbon in, or I didn't plug it in properly. But we'll find out. We're on this adventure together. Of course, it's like way at the bottom here. So, yeah, okay. Jeez. So now the button's working. Again. Yeah, now it works. So it's just the shell fitment again. Bummer. Okay, so something's wrong with this shell. I don't know why it's not fitting properly. Let's play around with it a little bit. Okay, that's in there. Still not fitting very nice. That's the OG switch, yeah. I can't remember where I got it, to be honest with you. I think I got it, it was used, but like brand new used. Like they bought it, barely used it, and then sold it. Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Was that Sod and Slop? Thanks, man. I'm sure that's what it was. I bought it used, but it had barely been used. It wasn't long after the release either. I was paying my way through school, so I didn't have a lot of money. And then a buddy of mine runs a shop, and he does like buy and trade and all that stuff. So he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I've got a switch in. It's yours if you want it. If not, I'm going to put it on the shelf to sell, kind of thing." And I was like, "Oh, I absolutely want that." So went in and bought it. Oh, I'm not liking this shell whatsoever right now. All right, we might have to do that trick where you just don't screw them down all the way. As long as it's tight and doesn't wiggle, it should be all right, but we'll play with it anyhow. Yeah, right away. Doesn't work. And do you know what I think it is? It's because it's depressing it. I don't like it. Yeah, like every time I squeeze the controller. So I'll try to get a different symbol here. So every time I just squeeze the controller, the plus button gets hit. Stupid. Stupid, stupid. Why you do this to me? Okay. The shell looks okay, like on this side. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, there's nothing on this one. It's all fitting over here. I love Joy-Cons. It's actually my first ever mod. Not prepared for how difficult it was. It's funny, that's why I have these, because my buddy bought everything. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it," and then he's like, "Nah, maybe not." So he sent it to me. Yeah, I'm just trying to find out what's wrong with this. It's a shell thing for sure. I just don't know why it's a shell thing. Maybe it could be, quite possibly, that this button just wasn't aligned. It's causing it to stick out a little bit. So basically, if a button's getting with it being every time I squeeze the controller, the plus button got hit. when it was plugged in, it was depressing that plus button. That's why I couldn't put any other button inputs in, because the button, it was reading it as that one button was just constantly being held down, and then it wouldn't let me put down any other input in, basically. Okay. Try this again. It feels a little bit better, so maybe that why are you beeping? What's with the beep? Oh, the water thing's full. I have a dehumidifier down here because it's been super humid the last few days. I'm trying to run a hose from it into my sump pump, but I can't find the right hose adapter. It's driving me nuts. Because now I have to keep emptying it, and it's just like it takes a couple hours and it fills back up. So, but I need the dehumidifier, or else everything will start to kind of sweat down here, and that's not good for the electronics. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. But why is it doing that? What is it getting caught on? This is a pain. Yep, everything's good there, good there. The board is aligned okay. Yeah, it's just like not battery depleted. Well, how am I supposed to test it now? I don't want to create a new user. Get out of there. Okay, so it works without the screws put in. It does work. So at least we have that for us. So like worst case scenario, I just won't put the screws in completely all the way, but like I don't want to do that. Test input devices, test controller buttons. Yes, they all work like that. Okay, so while it's in like this, I'm just going to put these back in and see what happens here. Let's find out. Stupid. I don't know why these aren't magnetized. You know what? I'm going to save that one for last, because that is my one problem area right there. That one's in. I'm going to go across this way. I keep thinking I'm losing, like I'm missing screws, but they're just kind of hiding on me. There we go. That's right, the magnet's not working, so I'm just gonna drop it in there. And you should know pretty quick when putting in this last screw that if I get a button input, I'm tightening it, So if I hear any of those sounds while putting in this screw, I know something's not right. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Oh, I think we got her. I think we got her. Nope, we don't got her. Because now I can't hit the button. Gonna back it off just a little bit. Still nothing. Oh, it's so annoying. Back it off just a little bit more. Oh, what the heck? I can feel it. Oh, might be because this controller's like super dead. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I can't really do much more with the dead controller. There we go. Okay, that's working. So half of this is the controller's dying on me, half of this is an adjustment thing. So I'm just gonna kind of do a tactile feel here, where I can physically feel the button getting depressed and popping back. So just gotta find that sweet spot. It's too bad. So that's unfortunate. Just like with cheaper shells, you're gonna get that problem. Again, I don't know where these shells came from. Yeah, the controller just died there. But yeah, I think that is the sweet spot for this one. Yeah, the controller's super dead. Come on, just give me a little bit of life to test it one last time. And then we're done. Come on. I just need one button click. I don't think I'm going to get it, folks. Yeah, no, it's super dead. Okay. I'm not feeling it there, though. I'm just going to... There we go. Now I can feel it. That's good. That's good. Okay. Alrighty, folks. Well, I think that's going to be it for this live stream. Everything is working as far as I can tell. I'm going to have to charge this and kind of revisit it. But there's just like the smallest little gap in this now, which is going to drive me nuts. So I'm going to kind of play around with it. I might have to do some, like, I don't know, maybe heat it a little bit and try to bend it into the proper shape. I don't know. I don't know what's getting caught on. I might just disassemble, reassemble, and kind of hope for the best. But we'll play with it and find out. Everything feels good and everything looks good. It's just stuck in that one little spot. But, oh well. Anyways, folks, thank you all for coming out. Hope everybody has a great night. And as always, let's save the consoles. And now the awkward outro while I walk over to my computer and turn off this live stream because it's in the other room. Anyways, take care. Oh, I should probably take this with me, actually. And then plop it on the charger so that so the Joy-Con battery gets fixed. See you, folks. Thanks, Albert.